Hey there, it's Pete with GCI Turf. Hope you're having a great day today. And this is my Kentucky bluegrass. And before we get going, no, I haven't decided the name of the field yet. This is going to be a wiffle ball field. We got it narrowed down to 3 names, and it's really tough. It's really, really tough to try and figure out which one the name is, because it's going to be permanent. You know, I want to make sure it flows right and works right and it goes with what we're doing here and all that. So still working on that, but I promise you I'll try to push myself and my wife and kids, because we're all kind of doing this like as a family, and make a family decision on it. And we'll do that, and as soon as I know it, I'll announce it right here, and I'll announce the winner, who's going to win a full year's worth of products. So I promise you it won't be too much longer. So I'm in North Carolina in a transition zone. Typically, bluegrass isn't grown where I live. Matter of fact, if you ride down the street, if you go over to Greensboro, to Winston-Salem, High Point, all in this around this area, you really won't see any Kentucky bluegrass. I'm sure there's 1 or 2 yards tucked away somewhere, but for the most part, it's fescue or Bermuda, or a lot of yards have fescue and Bermuda. So why in the world do I even want to try bluegrass here? Well, it's kind of 2 reasons. One, I've always wanted like a wiffle ball type field so the kids can play on it. Next reason is, gotta give credit where credit's due. Connor Ward, he's out in Utah or somewhere out west like that, and the first time I ever saw his yard, 3 or 4 years ago, I was blown away. Just to be completely honest with you, I didn't realize grass could look that good. So that intrigued me to start understanding and learning and trying to figure out how I could grow bluegrass here. So now you see I've got 15,000 square foot of it. It's cut down at 1/2 inch right now, and I'm going to show you how I grow Kentucky bluegrass, kind of my take on how I grow it. Now, I've been growing it for about 3 years now, little smaller test plots of it just to make sure it's going to do fine. And there's no doubt in my mind that this is going to be lit on fire this spring, and I'm going to keep it like that all summer. Now, one of the cool things about bluegrass is it's a spreading type turf. Now, I've got a few little bare areas. They're not bad by no means, but I want this completely full. I want this completely thickened up by the time spring gets here, so that when the kids get ready to play, they're playing on nothing but turf. One of the ways you can do that is by thatching it, okay? They make verticutters and things like that, but a lot of homeowners just aren't going to have a verticutter sitting around. So something you can do that kind of mimics that is dethatching. No, I don't expect everybody in the world to have an outlet with a little turf rake so that it can comb through and that kind of thing. I don't expect you to do that. But things like that little Sunjo electric dethatcher, they work great. They make pull behind dethatchers, the hooks to your mower, and you just drag it around. All that kind of thing is relatively inexpensive, and they work really good. And hey, if your yard's small enough, just use a rake. Take your rake and go out there and gently rake. And the objective is I'm trying to remove some of this old yucky brown stuff from the winter time, and basically open the canopy up a little bit so it can breathe. Now, what I did with mine out here is I ran over it with the turf rake, cleaned it up one good time, then I come back out here and I actually mowed it, cut it down to 1/2 inch, and then I was just feeling froggy, so I put the turf rake back on, and I went back and I raked it again. So for Kentucky bluegrass folks, this is a killer way to make it spread and fill in a little bit faster than say it normally would. For Bermuda folks, zoysia folks, same thing. Fescue, I'm not a humongous fan of dethatching fescue just because of the way the plant grows. And I had an older video that I never posted on YouTube because I kind of got angry in the video, so I just never posted it. But here's an old clip from, this was like 4 years ago, of me dethatching a little bit right behind this shed when it used to be fescue. Hey, there's Pete with GCI Turf. Hope you're having a great day. And should I dethatch? Should I not dethatch? What the heck is it? Blah, blah, blah. I know there's a lot of different opinions on it, different theories on it, blah, blah, blah. See these flail blades right here? They're kind of on a little pivoting shaft right there, and they free spin like that. And this thing rotates at a very rapid pace. And these flail blades, this little point down here, goes down in there and supposedly pulls out what we're calling thatch, okay? How it rotates like that, and it goes in and it claws in the ground, digs in the ground. No different than a massive rake, that if you really sunk that rake down in the ground and drug it back like that, it just kind of pulls out anything that's weak and isn't attached to the ground. Okay, this is a Ryan Mattaway, and it is a commercial grade true dethatcher. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, it's the only purpose this machine has is to dethatch the ground, and it works as it should. The ones I have seen on videos use a raking type implement attachment that just kind of finely rakes the grass. Okay, not aggressive at all. In no way is that aggressive. This thing right here is incredibly aggressive. Let me show you. Do you really want to do that to your yard? So, you know, most typical dethatchers are going to do that. They're going to be super aggressive and really rip through the turf. And for fescue, I'm just not really a fan of that. Now, obviously, spring dethatching is going to be a little bit different than, you know, late summer dethatching. So if your yard's really taking a beating over the summer and you just want to clean it up real good before you aerate and seed, yeah, you can use a dethatcher that's a little more aggressive, because you're getting ready to aerate and seed anyway and start pumping water and everything's going to come back out nice. This is more of a real light, less aggressive type of dethatching or raking. I'm basically just trying to stimulate the grass a little bit to help it wake up and get going. Now, once I did that, I went on and done my round one out here. I used my monsoon sprayer. I went out with a real heavy rate, and I know that I've showed you low volume spraying for several years now. This year I'm going to kind of focus on high volume spraying just because I want to show you a different way to spray. You ever heard that saying, there's more than one way to skin a cat? Well, spraying is definitely that. There are so many different ways you can apply liquids to a yard, and that's kind of my niche thing. I absolutely love the nuts and bolts behind the equipment part of it. And so this year I'm gonna show you a lot of different ways to do that. I got 15,000 square feet. I used 9 gallons of finished solution on half of it, which is 7,500 square feet. So that's a little over a gallon per 1,000. I could have took that 9 gallons and covered the entire 15,000 square foot. That'd have been really easy to do. But like I said, I'm just showing you a different way to do it. I've got this new nozzle pack on the website. I call it the Nozzle Buddy. And for the monsoon or the typhoon, it comes with 3 different nozzles. It comes with an air induction fan tip. It comes with a flood nozzle that'll spray 12 foot wide. It also comes with a shower head nozzle, and this kind of replicates the nozzles we use on our commercial spray trucks. And that's what I used out here today. If you notice my hand waving back and forth, that's because I'm doing the application and I'm kind of manually applying the liquid to the yard by waving my hand back and forth. The shower head produces a spray pattern just like it sounds. It produces a shower head-like pattern. They're heavy droplets, and when you wave your wrist back and forth, that's how you get your coverage. So the main reason I went on and jump-started this whole process is we're getting ready to go into a week where we're mid-60s, even a couple of days in the 70s, and we're off and on rain. So everything I've done here in the yard, I can really take advantage of the weather for this week. I'm telling you, it's killing me. I cannot wait to see what this is going to look like in the spring. No doubt my mind is going to be rocking and rolling. Those of you who've been following me for a while, do you remember when I overseeded that Bermuda with some bluegrass? Do you remember what that looked like and just how that was glowing like a new penny I mean big time glowing like a new penny. Well, you gotta imagine this with me, because when I was working out here in the yard the other day, that's all I had in my mind was a picture of the shop when that grass was just blazing on fire. This entire 15,000 square feet is gonna look just like that. Say, subscribe to the channel, that way you can see everything I do back here. When I say that we're going to turn this into a ball field, I'm being very literal. It's actually going to look like a ball field out here. And that way when those kids come out here and we're all out here playing wiffle ball, maybe it'll help them dream a little bit. I used to dream myself about being a Major League Baseball player, so you never know. Maybe it'll help the kids dream a little bit, and who knows, one of them might live out their dreams. So hey, supper's on the table. I'm gonna go in there and eat. As always, I appreciate you taking time out of your day to watch. I'll check you later.